Hello everybody, this was discussed in our last class. Today, in case of non-central conic, that means in case of parabola, how can we convert a given equation of a parabola in this kind of form, as a general equation of second degree, into the standard form of a parabola. Standard form is y square is equal to plus or minus 4ax, or it can also be written in this way, that x squared is equal to plus or minus 4ay. So these two are actually the standard formula. Over here I shall discuss the second case and present one example so that this becomes a bit clear. This case number 2, over here delta not equal to 0 and d is equal to 0. But before that, let me show you what is the meaning of d is equal to 0. So given equation is this kind of expression is equal to 0. Now I would like to show you the meaning of d is equal to 0. In case of parabola, d, that is equal to ab minus h square, this expression becomes is equal to 0. What does it mean? It means that h should be is equal to plus minus root over of ab, isn't it? And if we now put h is equal to plus minus root over of ab in this expression, remember we are given that this delta is not equal to 0. Okay, so if delta not equal to 0 and d is equal to 0, in that case this first expression, or you can write it as equation number 1. In that case this equation number 1 can be written as plus minus root over of this ab. This expression, root over of ab multiplied by x into 1. Now look at this expression a bit carefully. Over here you see we can write this first three terms as root over of a into x plus minus root over of b into y, its whole square, plus the remaining expressions equal to 0. Got it? So d is equal to 0, it would always mean that the first three terms, ax square plus hxy plus by square, these first three terms, they would together form a perfect square expression, and that is this kind of expression. If suppose delta becomes is equal to 0, in that case we will have a pair of straight line, and if delta is not equal to 0, in that case we will have a parabola. So in both of these two cases, delta is equal to 0 or delta not equal to 0, the result that d is equal to 0 would always imply that this expression is equal to perfect square. Now in order to explain or elaborate this matter, let us discuss two numerical examples, very easy kind of numerical examples. Suppose x plus twice or 4, let me write 4 xy, x square plus 4xy plus 4y square plus 5x plus 10y plus maybe 15 is equal to 0. Now consider this expression. Over here if you look this expression a bit carefully, in that case you will find that this purely second degree term would be a perfect square. Okay, and therefore this expression over here, what is h? H is equal to 2. What is b? B is equal to 4, and a is equal to 1 over here. So I'm not writing this one, and you will ultimately see that over here d becomes is equal to 0. Ab minus h square would be is equal to 0. Hmm. And as a result, these first three terms would constitute this kind of expression, x plus twice y whole square. Hmm. And the remaining expression would be this kind of expression. But over here, if you observe it a bit carefully, you will find that this expression would generate a pair of straight line, not a parabola. Why? Because in such cases, if you check, you will find that in this kind of cases, this delta would be is equal to 0. Hmm. And how to find it and how to find this result? If you take this, how to find the pair of straight lines over here? If you take this 5 common, in that case this would be 5 plus twice y. Hmm. So let me write, rather writing it as 5. Let me write it as say 7. Okay, 7 and 14. In that case, the computation would be a bit easier, hopefully. 7 or not 7, 8. 8 and 16. Hmm. In that case, this 8 can be taken common, and then it would be easy for me to show that this expression can be factorized as x plus twice y plus a constant. What would be the constant? You see, this expression would be is equal to plus 5 into x plus twice y plus hopefully 3, yes, is equal to 0. And in that case we will get this factor is equal to 0, and this second factor is equal to 0. So ultimately we will get a pair of parallel straight lines. So if you want to verify with these values, you will find that delta becomes is equal to 0. But suppose over here this we consider something for which delta is not equal to 0. Suppose over here we consider 10. In that case, you will find that delta would be not equal to 0, but d would be is equal to 0. Now the question is that how to make this kind of manipulation. You see over here we find that whatever be the process, some plus some constant quantity x plus twice y is there, but some constant quantity is ultimately added with this perfect square quantity. If you consider this first factor or second factor, whatever it is, ultimately you will find that a constant quantity is added with this perfect square x plus twice y, with this perfect square. So this kind of manipulation will ultimately come, and over here we can't take this minus, we can take this 8 common. If you want to take anything common, then we can hardly take 2 common. In that case 4x plus 5y would be there. Hmm. And over here x plus twice y, in the previous expression x plus twice y was there in this factor. Hmm. But now x plus twice y is not there. This factor and this factor, these two are two different factors, and if you check it would be you will find that delta is not equal to 0, but t becomes is equal to 0. Now in such cases, how to move forward? Hmm, how to convert it into the standard form? And in order to show this result, let me uh, draw a picture for you. I'm considering this. software. Hmm. Yes. Let me draw a picture for you. Suppose, suppose this is x-axis. So not x-axis. This y-axis, and this is our x-axis. Hmm. This is our x-axis, and this is our y-axis. Hmm. And suppose delta not equal to 0, d is equal to 0, then it is easy to conclude that the given equation represents a parabola. What would be the parabola? We don't know. Let us draw that. Say this is the parabola. Hmm. Then maybe this kind of straight line is the axis of the parabola. Hmm. And we draw a straight line perpendicular to the axis of the parabola. Though it is not straight line, it becomes very nasty. It is difficult to draw in this fashion. Anyway, hopefully you understand. You are getting my point. So, if we consider this straight line, that is the axis of the parabola, as the capital x-axis, and this straight line, that is a perpendicular straight line with this axis of the parabola as our capital y-axis, in that case, the question is that how to choose capital x-axis and how to choose capital y-axis. That is one question. I am going to give you the answer to this question. And but before that, suppose there is a point P, and this point P has the old coordinates x comma y, and suppose x comma y, and suppose the same point has the new coordinates in terms of capital X and capital Y. Then what would be capital X and capital Y? You see, if we draw a perpendicular line on x-axis, you will get the corresponding y coordinate, and if we draw a perpendicular line on y-axis, you will get the corresponding x coordinate. Got it? So this would be a basic technique to get the value of capital X, that is capital X coordinate and capital Y coordinate. Then what to do? As per your book, they have advised that we need to add some constant over here. And we need to add some constant, maybe something like lambda or delta or k, whatever. I don't know what is specified. Let me check. They have specified that this would be the perfect square quantity, the second degree term, and along with that some delta is added, and for this addition of delta, some extra term would ultimately come on the right hand side, and everything has been adjusted on right hand side. Okay, and afterwards this line, this expression, this kind of alpha x plus beta y plus lambda, or for our case this kind of expression plus lambda, or this kind of expression plus lambda, this kind of quantity when equated with 0 will generate a straight line. You see, if we make this expression equal to 0, then this is a first degree expression involving x and y, first degree equation involving x and y, and we know that this kind of expression always represents a straight line. And we shall consider this kind of line and one straight line perpendicular to this line. Okay, Again, I am repeating that we shall consider this kind of line and one straight line perpendicular to this line, so that one straight line can be considered as this capital X axis and another straight line can be considered as capital Y axis. Okay, we have to consider two perpendicular straight lines, so that one straight line can be considered as capital X axis and another straight line can be considered as capital Y axis. Now, how to consider such line? Hmm. You see, if we add some delta, then corresponding adjustment must be there. Hmm. Initially, we had only this much expression. Now, if we want to add this kind of lambda or something, some constant in this vector, plus suppose lambda is there, then I need to adjust something. What should I adjust? Minus lambda square must come, minus 2 into lambda into x plus twice y should ultimately come. Hmm. And the remaining portion is not changed at all. Now what we are doing, we are keeping this first factor on the left hand side and the entire expression is taken on the right hand side. Then what would we have? We shall have this kind of expression, this term minus this term, minus 15 plus lambda square. So over here, this this expression would be a constant quantity. Now, if you look at this expression over here, if you look at the right hand side expression, we can take this. We can take x common. What would be the coefficient of x? The coefficient of x would be twice lambda minus 8. And then what would be the coefficient of y? The coefficient of y would be 4 lambda minus 10. Okay, 4 lambda minus 10. Yes, okay. So now if we consider the quantity within this bracket, this quantity is equal to 0, and this quantity is equal to 0, then of course both of these two represent two straight lines. This is one straight line and this is another straight line, but still we don't know whether these two straight lines are perpendicular to each other or not. And that is it the question is that, is it possible to make these two straight lines perpendicular? Answer is yes, it is possible to make these two straight lines perpendicular by choosing these lambdas suitably, or in other words, we are going to choose the value of lambda in such a manner that these two straight lines become perpendicular to each other. Okay, then that is the scope we have, because this lambda is so far not specified at all. We know that this is a parameter or some constant, but what is the value of that constant, that we don't know. So we can adjust the value of this parameter in such a manner that these two straight lines become perpendicular to each other. And what would be the advantage? The advantage would be ultimately shown to you by given a suitable example. I am just showing the rough technique over here. Okay. So let us go to that example. Hopefully you got the technique what I have discussed so far. This is an example over here. This is example number 17 in that course material that I have already put in under this classwork tab in general equation of second degree. You will get this PDF file. So hopefully you have checked that PDF file. So this is the PDF file, and in this file it has shown that we actually have two parts of this question. What is that part? It says that show that the directrix of the parabola. So it is already given that it is a parabola. And we have to find out the directrix of the parabola. Now, in such question, in order to answer this kind of question, what we practically first do, we practically first convert this equation into its standard form. If it is given that if it is given in the question that it represents a parabola, then all right. If it is not given in the question, then we need to check whether delta is equal to 0 or not, and similarly we need to check whether d is equal to 0 or not. So if delta not equal to 0 and d is equal to 0, that we discussed over here, delta not equal to 0 and d is equal to 0, in such cases this would represent a parabola. So it would be easy to check that this kind of expression represents a parabola. Over here delta would not be equal to 0 and over here delta would not be equal to 0 and d would be is equal to 0. So now what we are going to write, so this is the equation, and if you look at this expression, this is a perfect square expression. So over here x plus y whole square, uh, this first expression is written as x plus y whole square, fine, and the remaining expression has been put on the right hand side. So now this is the right hand side. Now what we are going to do, we are going to add a constant k with this second degree term. So x plus y whole square, a perfect square term, we are going to add a constant with this perfect square term. So now it becomes x plus y plus k whole square, and corresponding adjustment is written over here. Okay. Now in order to determine the value of k, we are going to determine the value of k so that this left hand side is equal to 0, that would give us this first straight line, and the right hand side is equal to 0, that would give us this second straight line. Both of these two straight lines become is equal to 0. Both of these two become perpendicular to each other, not 0. We are choosing the value of k in such a manner that both of these two straight lines, equation number 2 and 3, become perpendicular to each other. And what is the condition of perpendicularity? That we need to determine the gradient of both of these two straight lines, and the product of their gradients must be is equal to -1. This is the condition under which the straight lines number 2 and 3 would be perpendicular to each other. Let me close this picture. So this is the criteria by which we get this result, and ultimately if you solve this result, you would be able to find out the value of k. So over here we got the result that k is equal to 1, and now if you put the value of k in this equation number 1, 2 and 3, you will ultimately get these following results. This would be the equation of the given curve, and corresponding straight lines would be this left hand side is equal to 0 means x plus y plus 1 is equal to 0, and the right hand side is equal to 0 means 6x minus 6y plus 7 is equal to 0. So these two straight lines are perpendicular to each other, and these two straight lines will form this capital X axis and this capital Y axis. Got it? And therefore we consider the value of capital X. What is capital X? I have shown over here capital X. Over here this capital X, this distance capital X is equal to the perpendicular distance of P from Y axis, capital Y axis. This is capital Y axis. So what did we take this capital Y axis? This second equation, equation number 7, has been taken as capital Y axis. This is our assumption. Okay, you could also interchange the capital X and capital Y axis. It doesn't matter. So this is our assumption. I have taken capital X axis by this first straight line, equation number 6, and I have taken this capital Y axis by this second straight line, that is actually the equation number 7. Okay, so it depends upon you, even our choice. So over here, capital X is equal to the perpendicular distance from Y axis, and we know how to compute the perpendicular distance of this kind of point x comma y from equation number 7. This is 6x minus 6y plus 7 divided by root over of 6 square plus root over of 6 square again. So this would be the expression of capital X. And remember, over here, do not cancel any factor from numerator and denominator. I am repeating, do not cancel any factor. Even if you can take any factor common from numerator and denominator and cancel it out, if it is possible to cancel any factor, but I would suggest you to not cancel this kind of factor. Keep it in this fashion, because if had this constant becomes is equal to 12, then you could always take this 6 common and cancel this 6 from numerator and denominator, but don't go in that state. Okay, now similarly over here we compute the expression of capital Y. Capital Y is equal to the distance of the point P from the x-axis, perpendicular distance. So what is x-axis? This straight line is actually our x-axis. So we can compute the perpendicular distance. That would be x plus y plus root over of x plus root over of 1 square plus 1 square. That is x plus y plus 1 divided by root over of 2. So you will be able to compute the expression of capital X and the expression of capital Y. Got it? And therefore, you see, what would be the expression of this numerator? The expression of this numerator, this 6x plus 6x minus 6y plus 7 would be is equal to capital X multiplied by this 6 root over of 2. Got it? So x root over of 2, this x root over of 2 would be the expression of this numerator quantity. Similarly over here, if you consider this expression x plus y plus 1, what would be x plus y plus 1? This x plus y plus 1 would be is equal to y root over of 2. Got it? So we shall directly apply this expression 6x minus 6y plus 7 is equal to x root over of 2 in equation number 5. On the right hand side of this equation number 5, we shall apply this result on the right hand side. This right hand side would be directly is equal to x into 6 root over of 2. Got it? Similarly, the left hand side, this expression x plus y plus 1 would be is equal to y into root over of 2. Okay, so ultimately we will have this kind of expression. This is y root over of 2, this is 6 root 2 into x. 6 root 2 into x. And therefore, after computation manipulation, all this becomes is equal to y square is equal to 6 root over of 2 into x, and that would be is equal to 4ax. Whenever a is taken in this fashion, just it is an adjustment that if we choose a is equal to 3 by 2 root over of 2, then this expression y square can be written as 4ax. So this is the standard form that we wanted to express the given equation into a form that y square is equal to 4ax. Over here a is equal to 3 by 2 root over of 2. So if the question is given in the fashion that you have to just simply reduce this equation into the standard form, then this much you have to do. That's all. But as per the question over here, in this particular question, you need to find out the directrix of the parabola. And what is the equation of directrix of a parabola? X is equal to, over here I am writing the capital X coordinate, because you see this capital X and capital Y These are the coordinates that we generally use in the standard form. So I'm writing everything in terms of all these standard coordinates. So x is equal to minus a is actually the equation of the directrix of the parabola. বাংলায় যেটাকে বলে নিয়ামক directrix. So x is equal to minus a or x plus a is equal to 0 is the equation of the directrix of the parabola. So just put the expression of capital X and the expression of capital A. You will ultimately now manipulate all these expressions and you will ultimately get this expression or the equation of this parabola, directrix of the parabola. This would be the equation of the directrix of the parabola. Got it? So in this way, you can compute the expression of directrix of the parabola. Now, is it clear to you? Do you have any question?
স্যার পরীক্ষার ক্ষেত্রে কি আমাদের ডেল্টা নট ইকুয়াল টু 0 ডি ইজ ইকুয়াল টু 0 এই স্টেটমেন্টটা লিখতে হবে?
কোশ্চেনে যদি তোমাদের বলে দেয় দ্যাট শো ফার্স্টলি কোনো ইনফরমেশন যদি না থাকে যে দ্যাট এখানে যেমন কোশ্চেনটার মধ্যে ইনফরমেশন প্রোভাইড করা আছে, কোথায় গেল কোশ্চেনটা? এই যে এখানে it is given that it is a parabola. Okay, so until and unless you compute the or show the expression of delta and d, you cannot consider what approach should you take. Because in case of a central conic, uh, d is not equal to 0. So firstly you need to take the decision that what approach should you consider. In case of central conic, I demonstrated one approach in our previous class. Okay, and in case of non-central conic like parabola, the approach is a quite different approach. So firstly, you need to determine your and convince yourself what approach should we consider. That's why you need to show delta. You need to show the value of delta and d. But in this case, it is already given that it is a parabola. That's why I avoided to compute the expression of delta and t, as because it is already given that it is a parabola. So no confusion is there. I know how to proceed and I took that particular technique because in case of parabola this kind of adjustment comes over here, but in case of hyperbola or ellipse a different kind of adjustment was there that we firstly computed the center and then we applied a translation and moved to the coordinate axis to the center, and then after applying rotation we converted everything into standard form. That's why you need to what I think that you need to show the value of delta and d if it is if any scope of confusion is there.
ওকে স্যার, থ্যাংক ইউ।
ব্যাপারটা বোঝা গেল তো? Any other question?
ইয়েস স্যার।
Any other question?
নো স্যার।
Okay, so actually I wanted to show you one say many other things, but the time is very limited over here. Over here, if you can go through this kind of question, you see in this question over here, this is the question, a very general kind of question. Many results have been discussed over here, and it is given that show that this equation, this kind of equation represents a parabola. This plus 44 is equal to 0. This kind of question represents a parabola. This is the first part. And then what you need to do, you need to find out the parabola with the points this and this as its vertex. Just a minute. I think some mistake is there. If a parabola has only one vertex, I think some mistake has been there. Let me check. It would ultimately in that case represent two parabola, or let me see. Only one vertex would ultimately appear. Why two vertices? Some mistake is there in this question. Hmm. Oh, sorry. This is the vertex and this is the focus, respectively. Got it? Hmm. That means minus 1, comma 5, comma 2, comma 5. This would be the vertex. That means this point. Hmm. Let me draw it over here. A different kind of. This is the vertex of the parabola, and this would be the focus of the parabola. Got it? So this would be the vertex. Suppose O point, and this would be the focus. This point. Got it? And now, what we need to do? We also need to show that the lattice sectum of the parabola is 8 unit. What is the lattice sectum? 4a. Y square is equal to 4ax. So 4a is actually the lattice rectum, length of the lattice rectum of the parabola. This distance Ps is actually Ps is the half of the length of the lattice rectum. And the total length of the lattice rectum, বাংলায় যে কি বলে ভুলে গেছি বাংলাটা, length of the lattice rectum is equal to 8 unit. We need to show this result. And axis, we need to show that axis is equal to this straight line. That means this capital X axis would be is equal to this straight line, and the directrix that I have shown in the previous example, the directrix is equal to 3x plus 4y plus 9 is equal to 0. So many different aspects has been studied in this example. I am just not going to show the entire result. In brief, I am going to discuss it. Okay, because I have already discussed many more things in this regarding parabola. So what we need to do? Firstly, we need to show that it represents a parabola. Then what we need to do? We need to first show that delta is equal to is not equal to 0. Over here, delta is equal to this, and what we have, d is equal to 0. So it is confirmed that given equation represents a parabola. So first part is answered. It represents a parabola. Fine. Then in order to answer this remaining part, we need to convert it into the standard form. And this is the technique. We have adjusted, we have added one constant k, and ultimately we got k is equal to 2, and therefore finally by different kind of computation, you see over here 40 can be taken common, but I didn't take this 40 and common and cancelled this 40. And therefore finally we get the equation of the parabola as in this fashion: y square is equal to 8x. So this 8 is actually is equal to 4a. This 8 would be is equal to 4a. This 8. Okay, this 8 would be is equal to 4a. Therefore from this result it is clear that the length of the lattice rectum is equal to 8 unit. All right, and now what would be the vertex? You see, this is the vertex, the point O. So vertex would have this kind of coordinate 0, 0 with respect to capital X and capital Y axis. So capital X is equal to 0 and capital Y is equal to 0. This would be the vertex. Now what is capital X? Already I have computed the expression of capital X. So capital X is equal to 0 would give us the numerator is equal to 0. Now in this numerator we can take this 40 common. So this numerator capital X is equal to 0. And what is capital Y is equal to 0? In the expression of capital Y, this numerator would be is equal to 0. So I have taken this numerator is equal to 0. Got it? And then we just need to solve these two equations, and this would ultimately give us the expression x is equal to -5 minus 1 by 5 and y is equal to 2 by 5. So this was the coordinate in terms of capital X and capital Y axis 0 0. But in terms of this old coordinate axis, capital small x and small y, what would be the position or the coordinate of the point O? This position of the coordinate would be given by this kind of result. So x is equal to minus 1 by 5, y is equal to 2 by 5. So this is the vertex. Got it? So this is the vertex, and the latus rectum, I have already told you that this latus rectum is equal to 4a, that is equal to 8. So what we have, a is equal to 2. Then now what is focus? We know that focus has this kind of coordinate, a comma 0. Focus, that means S, this point capital S has this kind of coordinate in terms of capital X and capital Y coordinate. So what does it mean? Xy is equal to a comma 0. That means that should mean that x is equal to capital A. So x is equal to capital A, that is actually 2, and y is equal to 0. Got it? So again, if we consider the expression of x, this is the expression of x. So x is equal to 2. And what is y? Y is equal to 0 means this is the expression y is equal to 0. Now again you solve these two equations, and after solving these equations you will be able to find that x is equal to small x is equal to 1 and small y is equal to 2. Therefore, with respect to this old coordinate, with respect to small x and small y coordinates, the focus is equal to 1 comma 2. Remember, this is actually the expression with respect to new capital X and capital Y coordinate axis, a comma 0. This is actually the standard coordinate of the focus, but we need to compute the focus with respect to the given coordinates, that means with respect to x and with respect to y. That's why we need to compute it in this way. So in this way we compute the expression of the coordinate of the focus as equal to 1 comma 2. Got it? Now we need to find out the axis, that is capital X axis. We need to find out the axis of this parabola. What is the equation of capital X axis? The equation of capital X axis is y is equal to 0. Okay, so y is equal to 0 means this expression is equal to 0 would give us the equation of capital X axis or the axis of the parabola. Okay, so this would give us the axis of the parabola. And again, as I discussed in case of previous example, that equation of the directrix would be x is equal to minus a or x plus a is equal to 0. So just put the expressions of x and capital A, you will ultimately be able to compute the equation of the directrix. Got it? What would be the position of directrix? Over here you see the position of the directrix would be this kind of straight line. Got it? This would be the position of directrix. So this equation of the directrix can be written in this way: 3x plus 4y plus 9. You see, remember, everything has to be converted in terms of small x and small y, as because the original equation was given in terms of small x and small y. That's why everything has to be converted in terms of small x and small y. Just capital X and capital Y helps us to compute the expressions in terms of small x and small y.